Ever found yourself feeling irresistibly drawn to that chocolate bar, even though you're watching what you eat? Finding it almost impossible not to buy those shoes when you're trying to save money? Or knowing that you really need to get some sleep, but letting yourself watch just one more episode of your favorite show and then feeling exhausted the next morning? Welcome to the tricky world of temptation, where it can feel like your willpower is non-existent and you have no idea how to resist. But there are some simple and effective things you can do to stop tormenting yourself and start taking control, and that's what I'm sharing in this video. So let's talk about willpower. Hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin, and I teach you how to improve your mental health with weekly videos and my podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. We've all felt that seductive pull towards something that maybe isn't the best choice for us, but which can feel impossible to resist. Trying to rely on sheer willpower doesn't work. Think about how many times you've tried to say no to something and then just found yourself giving in minutes or hours later. On its own, willpower isn't always effective, which is why you also need a plan and some strategies, and I'll come back to that in a moment. First, what is temptation? At its core, temptation is an urge or desire to do something, especially something that conflicts with our values or long-term aspirations. It's those little moments where short-term pleasures seem to overshadow our long-term benefits. Think of it like a gentle tug-of-war happening in our minds. So what's the relationship between willpower and temptation? Willpower is that mental muscle that helps us resist these immediate urges, prioritizing the bigger picture. But just like a muscle, it can get fatigued. Ever noticed how resisting temptations often becomes trickier as the day wears on? That's because every act of resistance can drain a bit of our mental energy. There's a good reason why it's easier to resist that cake in the morning than it is at night. So why do we struggle sometimes? Resisting temptation isn't just about being strong-willed, it requires mental energy, and often a lot of mental energy. Every time you resist temptation, it can drain your battery and potentially make it harder to stick to your convictions. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are plenty of ways you can increase your willpower and mental energy and make it easier for yourself to resist things that go against what you're trying to achieve. So here are some tips and strategies to navigate temptation. Tip 1. Use the 10-minute rule. Okay, so when you feel tempted to do or not do something, you're usually being driven by your emotions initially. And emotions have a way of making irrational decisions if we don't incorporate a bit of logical thinking as well. So before giving in to a temptation, pause and wait for 10 minutes. This short break can diminish the immediate intensity of the urge, helping you make a more balanced decision. At the very least, it gives plenty of time for your rational brain to catch up so you can make an objective assessment of your potential choices. Tip 2. Play the tape forward. Continuing on from my last point, once you're thinking a bit more clearly, it's an opportunity to think through the longer-term impacts of your actions. When temptation strikes, visualize the aftermath of giving in. Sure, that truck stop burrito might look good now, but how's it going to feel when it's wreaking havoc on your stomach? That sugary treat might seem like a great idea now, but think about the potential sugar crash later. Anticipating the consequences can often sway our choices. Tip 3. Distract yourself. When temptation hits, redirect your focus. Dive into an engaging activity, make a quick phone call, or move your body. I quit smoking a few years ago, after 20 years of the habit, and I found it helped to either chew gum or drink water every time I wanted a cigarette, and that helped the craving to pass. By shifting your attention, you reduce the mental space that temptation occupies. Tip 4. Use positive reinforcement. This is a bit of a longer-term plan to keep you focused, and it's to surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Whether it's a photo, a motivational quote, or even an aspirational screensaver, these small nudges can refocus your mind when temptation starts looming over you. Tip 5. Stay accountable. Sharing your goals can be really powerful, and it can help to reinforce for you why you're trying to make the change in the first place. When you feel tempted, reach out to someone. A quick chat with a friend who knows what you're striving towards can be just the motivation you need to stay on track. The thing is that temptation is a natural part of life. You're not a bad person or a failure if you struggle with willpower. However, it does take conscious effort, and daily effort at that, to navigate the ups and downs of temptations. Ultimately, the goal is to make healthier choices for yourself that enable you to achieve what you want to or need to achieve. Take things one day at a time, and show yourself genuine kindness and compassion along the way. Now it's over to you. Let me know in the comments which tips you're going to apply, and find out more about willpower and your mental health in the latest episode of the Let's Talk About Mental Health podcast. It's linked in the episode description. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time. For ad-free content and early episode access, become a paid supporter on Patreon. It's linked in the episode description. And in this video, I talk about how to find healthy coping mechanisms, so watch that next and subscribe to my channel for new videos every Sunday.